Okay, so let's just start with the podcast. What's up, my friends? Welcome back. This is the second podcast on this channel, on this English channel, because I'm very sorry because you already know that on the Spanish channel we have like 4 or 5 podcasts already, but it's easier for me to speak in Spanish, so that's why I haven't made that much podcast here on the English channel. But I will do my best to speak the best that I can, and I hope that you will understand me. And I'll try to improve my English in the way of this podcast. And usually I'll try to post once or twice each month. But right now I'm posting once every 2 months because I didn't have enough time to make more podcasts. But anyway, before we even start with the main topic of this video, which is talking a little bit about the process that I have to make a video for YouTube, because a lot of you ask me about the gears that I use, how to prepare a video, how I have all the ideas, if I take your ideas in consideration. So I thought that it would be nice to make a podcast and talk about that. But before that, let me just talk you a little bit the small topics that will appear in this podcast. First of all, I will make some Electronoobs updates, and those are updates about the channel, about the website, about the Instagram, and stuff like that. So first of all, we will talk a little bit about the new website. As you all know, till now I had the electronoobs.com website, and now we have the electronoobs.io, and we also have a new update. So stay tuned for that. We'll talk about that as well. And then I have, I'm looking here on the Word because it's easier for me to have all the topics here on the written on the Word. And since I'm not very well with English, it's easier for me to have everything write down and then just get the topic and explain it a little bit with my words. So then I have 2 questions for you guys. First, what do you think about live videos on this channel? I'm planning to make a live video, and it will be just like this. I'll connect the camera to my laptop, start a new video, and once I'm talking about a topic or something like that, I will have the chat enabled, so you can ask me question, and it will be like a Q&A, a live Q&A. So tell me what you think about the live video on this channel, and tell me if you think that I will do it okay, because of my English, because that's the only problem. And the live videos are a little bit scary for me. So please leave a comment below about what do you think of live videos on this channel. And the second question is about what do you think about mailbag videos. Usually mailbag is very interesting for everyone, and for each project that I make, I usually receive like 10 or 15 envelopes with sensors, with components, and I have a lot of boxes filled with components. And the idea is that I will open those boxes once a month or once every 2 months and make a video about what we have here, and also explain in what project I will use that sensor or that component, and what is that component, the price for where I bought it, and stuff like that. So you have 2 questions that I wish that you could answer me. You could comment below. Tell me what do you think about live videos, and what do you think about mailbag videos. And once I have those questions, then I have to announce that every time that I will make a Q&A video, it will be announced on my community tab on YouTube and also on Patreon. You already know that YouTube now has a community tab, so once I will post that, I will make a Q&A video there. If you are subscribed to my channel, you receive a message that I posted something on the community tab. Just go there and leave your question there, and I will try to answer those questions in the next Q&A video. And also I will try to answer all the questions for my Patreon, because usually on Patreon I have just a few questions. And also, by the way, I have a Patreon campaign. I always try to announce that, because with your help I can make a lot of more projects. So if you want to support my work, support my projects, help me buy more stuff for my workshop and for my tutorials, please consider supporting me on Patreon, because even if you help me with just €1, with that euro I can buy then a sensor, a new Arduino, or stuff like that. Because sometimes I have tutorials that I have the idea for a good tutorial, for a good project, but it's very expensive. Let me just give you an example of an expensive project that I don't. For example, for some time now I wanted to make a filament extruder, and to make a prototype of a filament extruder you have to buy very expensive parts and multiple parts, because maybe you will fail, maybe the part is not good, and also I have to buy parts made of aluminum or make CNC services to cut the part to the exact size. Only the barrel, the main barrel and the tip will cost me like €300. And then I have the nozzle, the motor for the extruder, the electronics, the driver, the screen, all the parts that I have to buy, and to make a prototype for a filament extruder, and maybe I will fail, I'm not sure, because this will be a first prototype for me, will cost me around €1,000. And right now I don't have that money, but with your support we are already like 80 patrons. I have 80 patrons, and thank you very much. I'll try to put a list of your names at the end of this video. Really thank you very much, because with your help I'll have a constant income and I can buy more components. Right now it's not very much, but with the time I'll be able to buy more expensive parts for the projects, because I don't want to limit myself only to low budget projects, because the expensive prototypes are also interesting and will teach you a lot. So please consider support my work on Patreon. You'll have the link below for that. Thank you very much. Really thank you. Okay, so the next part. Now we start with the main topic of this video, which is after we talk about the new website, we'll talk about the steps that I have to make in order to make a YouTube video. But before that, let's just start with the new website. As you all know, till now I had the website and it's called electronoobs.com, and now we have the electronoobs.io. So before I explain you the new website and how to use it and stuff like that, let me just tell you about the new update. Because this website was online for like 3 months already. We already have more than 1,000 users. It's going pretty well, but now we've made a new update and we have a new forum. And I think a forum for this kind of website for tutorials is very important, because each time that I had a problem or a doubt or some errors in a code or something like that, I found the solution on an electronics forum. For example, the forum of Dave from EEE Vlog, the forum of Arduino from Arduino CC. So forums will help you very, very much in your when you have a problem. So that's why we've implemented a very good forum based on the SMF, I think the SMF template. But in order to use it, there is a little bit a little trick. If you are making a new account, don't worry, you don't have to make anything, because this is if this is the first time that you make an account. When you make an account for Electronoobs.io, you will automatically make an account for the forum as well. But in case that you already have an account for Electronoobs.io because you made it like a few months ago, you will have to reset your password in order to use the forum. And that's because when you make an account, our database will make the password encrypted. We can't see the password. So we can't pass the same password and username to the forum. So all you have to do is to go into Electronoobs.io, log in with your account that you already have, and then go to settings, account settings, change password and reset the password. It doesn't have to be a different password. You can use the same password that you have till now, but you have to manually reset it in order to activate the forum. So once you do that, you reset your password, you can go to electronoobs.io/forum and start posting your questions or answer other questions, because also that is also very important in order to help the community. And once you will go to that to forum, you will see that we have a lot of topics. Let me just enter here on electronoobs.io and talk a little bit about the topics that you will find. And if you have any idea about a new topic, just send me a feedback. You will have the message, the button for the feedback there. Just send me the idea and I will post it here. First, we have a topic about Arduino, because that is very, very general on my YouTube channel. I use a lot the Arduino, and inside of the Arduino we have some subtopics. We'll have problems with troubleshooting. We'll have topics about microcontrollers, about storage, about memory, SRAM, floppy drivers, hardware, and stuff like that. We'll have topics about networking. All this is about Arduino, but inside of the Arduino topic we have subtopics. We have problems with topics about GPS, XB, sensors, because sensors, I already made a video about that. It's very general with Arduino, it's very common with Arduino to use different sensors. So if you have a problem with a light sensor, with an IMU or any other type of sensor or analog inputs, you can post a question here on the forum. We also have topics about motors, mechanics and power control, because you know that with a simple Arduino, with a simple signal, you can connect that to a MOSFET and then control high powers, motor and stuff like that. We have displays, programming questions, bootloader issues and programming, and also introductory tutorials. So if you have a question related to Arduino, if in any of this topic, just go to the forum and post it there. And then we have a general topics for any other kind of tutorials, because you will see that on this website this won't be only about electronics tutorials. You can post any kind of tutorial, because I want Electronoobs.io to be a little bit different and to be based only on tutorials, not just only electronics. So you can post, you will see that if you go to Electronoobs.io, you will see tutorials about chemistry, about physics, also about gardening, about woodwork, about metalwork, of course electronics and simple circuits, basic circuits and Arduino, microcontrollers, but also maybe in the future about cooking, about food in general, about crafting, about arts. I would like to make this like tutorials for everyone, any kind of creator, to be able to help any other creator. So if you have any kind of idea for a tutorial, just try it and post it on electronoobs.io. Finally, we have a topic for electronics. This is basic electronics. You can place questions about circuits, about manufacturing, about open source hardware, power and renewable energy, about RF, radio frequency, microwave, radios, FPGA, project and designs, microcontrollers, repair, and beginners. Then we have the computing topic, where you can place a question about PCs, about Macs, tablets, phone. This is like general computing, about vintage computing as well, about cloud and IoT, networking, security, programming, and embedded computing. So if you have a question about PHP or any kind of other code, place it in this topic. Of course, we have a topic about EDA. If you are designing a PCB and you are using a software like Design Spark, like Easy EDA, like KiCad, and all these CAD softwares, you can place it here if you have any problem or question about that. And finally, we have a topic about Electronoobs, and these are in general about my blog or other blogs, or support and feedback. So if you want to ask me a question, direct a question about my channel, just post it in these topics. Okay, let me just exit the website here. So that's pretty much with this this new update, this new forum. So if you have any question, just go and you can post it. You can include links, you can include pictures, bits of code in the question. So just use it. I'm pretty sure that you will have a lot of questions to make and problems. And also very important, please try to also answer some questions. The problem is that first of all, I don't have time to answer all the questions. Till now, I think that on the forum we have like maybe 10 questions, because the forum is very new, it's a new update. And all those questions, I've tried myself to answer those. But there's a problem. If I am the only one who answers the questions, there will be a lot of questions that I don't know the answer, because I'm not an expert in all the parts. For example, I don't know a lot about audio amplifiers. So if I have a question about a simple circuit with an audio amplifier, I'm pretty sure that on the forum you will find an engineer that is specialized in audio amplifiers, and he will give you a better solution for your problem. So please, if you find a question and you know the answer, it doesn't have to be the perfect answer, but maybe a little bit of a solution, because maybe that will be the perfect solution for that problem. So just give some tips, give some help, and help the community, because others will help you as well. So that's it with the forum. I hope that it will help you and will make the community grow a lot bigger. And well, the best of all, the most important part of this forum is to help the community, because I'm pretty sure that everyone has problems, because each time that I post a video, I get a lot of comments about how to do that, the problem with that, the problem with the other. So the forum, I think, will help you a lot. Okay, and also to follow about this new website, I know that I already made a video about the new website. I already show you how to use it, so please go to my channel, find the video. It was posted like 4 weeks ago, I think. And if you want to know how to use it, how to post a tutorial, just watch that video. But I wanted to talk about why to use Electronoobs.io. First of all, because you can post any kind of tutorials. Wood maker, metal makers, about electronics, about cooking, about anything that you want. And at the same time, it will be divided into tags. We have a search bar, so it's very easy to find. So even if you make a tutorial about anything else that's not relating to electronics, it will be very easy to find. You will have a profile, your own profile, and you can post there your job title, a little bit about yourself. And now we have messages between creators. So imagine that you are a PHP programmer, and somebody will want to make a new website and will want to get in contact with you. It will see your work, because it will see your tutorials and projects that you can post. It will see your title, and also it can send a message and get in contact with you and maybe offer you a job. So in this way, with this website, all the creators will see your work, and that's very good if you want to show the work to others. And at the same time, if you only want to show tutorials and teach people, you can be a teacher and post tutorials and show the others the same as I do, show the others how to make any kind of project. And in order to find your profile, you will see that we have some tools. For example, we have the Explore tab. And the Explore tab, you have Explore Creators, Projects, and Tutorials. If you go into Projects or Tutorials, you will see all the projects in the timeline that were posted on the Electronoobs.io. But if you go into Creators, you will see random creators. Like each time that you refresh the page, you will see like 20 or 40 creators. for all around the world. So for example, if I'm from Spain and you are from United States, it will be very difficult for me to find you. But if I go into random creators, I will see your profile, I will see the projects that you have, and I can go click view profile, and if I like your work, I can follow you. And the best thing is this, because this is like a social network but for creators. So if I'm following you, if you go to the main wall of the website, you will see that it has a main wall and my community. If I go to my community, I can see only the projects from the people that I follow. So if I have, for example, like 10 creators that I really like, for example, I'm following a creator that is only working with metal and I really like his projects, so I will follow him, and each time that he will post something, I will see his projects on the community, my community. And if I go to the main wall, we'll see projects from the entire world. So that's the idea, because with following people, you can get in contact with that creator, and each time that he will post something, he or she, you can see what they posted. And also you can use the search and the tags tool to find other projects. And at the same time, we have a Facebook share. In order, if you want to get more views or more likes, you can go to your own project and click the share button, and it will be shared on Facebook with some tags and a little bit of description and the photo that you place. And if you want to create a post, you have three versions of posts. The first one is just like a tweet. You can make like today I'm working on the new Tesla coil, because that's the example that will appear in the website when you enter. You place OK, and that will be placed on the main wall, so everyone that follows you will see on what you are working. And then you can post a tutorial or project. The difference between tutorials and projects is that in project you can only post a little bit of description, a small description about that project. You can post 4 photos or 4 videos. You can post videos from YouTube. You can just have to copy the link, place it on the embedded link on the website, and it will get posted on the tutorial or project. And once you place those 4 photos, you can add another small description of the gallery, an external link, and tell if the project is finished, if the project is still on a prototype, still in progress, if it's a new update, and stuff like that. So just show the people what you have done. Show the people the project, a simple image of the project. But if you want to post a tutorial, in the tutorial you have infinite steps. So once you have the description of the tutorial, the thumbnail, the external link, and a little bit more the tags and a little bit of more information, then you can click add step, and you can start placing all the steps that you want. For example, first step will be a part list, the second step will be the schematic, the third step will be how to mount the parts, the final step will be a video or maybe more information. And you can upload photos, you can upload zip files if you want to share codes with the others, if you want to share STL files for 3D printing, if you want to share PDF files for manuals. So everything that you need for a project, you can upload it and people can download it from there. Also, you can share bits of codes and GIF files and stuff like that. So please give it a check and start posting tutorials now and help others, help the community, and also use the forum. Okay, sorry for my bad English, but my mouth is a little bit tired and dry. By the way, I'm addicted to coffee, and not just the caffeine. The caffeine, yes, not just the caffeine inside of the coffee, because this one, for example, is a decaf, but I really like the taste. I think all the engineers, the electronics engineers or software engineers, are addicted to coffee. I don't know why it's that, but it's pretty good, especially if it is an espresso with a latte espresso. I really like those. Okay, so let me just talk you a little bit, just one more minute, about the future updates of the website. The future update, I have an entire list with updates for this website, including giveaways, including all sorts of other parts for this website, but those are very time consuming. But for now, I'm working on 3 main parts. And first, I want to make a store, because a lot of you guys ask me if I'm selling the Arduino board, for example, the soldering station, my t-shirts, my design, the 3D parts. So having a store will be a lot easier for me to sell those parts and also help my workshop at the same time. I don't know when I will have the shop, but I'm working on that. Also, I'm working on implementing notifications, because that is a little bit more difficult to implement for my website, because you have to make a lot of script to each time that somebody will post a new comment, will post a new tutorial, to have a notification bell on the website in order to know that somebody posted something new. So notifications, and finally a contest, because I want to make contests on this website. So you will be able to upload photos with your projects, a little bit of description, and maybe depending on the likes that you have for that project, you will win a contest, a giveaway, for example. So stay tuned for these 3 updates in the future. For now, we just have the forum update. Okay, so those were the parts for the new website, and now we can start with the main topic of this podcast, and that is tell you the steps that I have to make in order to make a video for my YouTube channel, because I know that a lot of you know that is very hard work, but at the same time there are a lot of you that think that is very easy. Making YouTube videos is easy, and I would really like to tell you all the parts that I have to follow, the gears that I use, and everything that you have to know, because I have a lot of questions on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, what gears I'm using, how to record, how I have all this idea, if I have a to-do list and stuff like that. Okay, so let's start. First of all, in order to explain you the process that I have to follow to make a YouTube video, I first have to explain you that I have 3 types of videos, because depending on the type of video that I've selected for that week, it will change the time. The time will be from a week, just 1 week for one project, to maybe 3 months or even a year. For example, for the brushed drone, for the Arduino brush drone, I worked for like 1 year to get a good version to make it fly, and it's still not perfect, but that was a very long project. So depending on the project that I select, it will be a simple project, a medium project, or a hard project. And depending on this type of project, it will change the process that I have to make in order to get that video. So first we have the simple project. And the simple project is a project where I know how to make it, I've already made it in the past, I already have all the parts that I need, and all I have to do is to gather the parts, mount it on the breadboard or mount the PCB, record that, make the script, record the voice, and edit it. So that could be just 1 week of work. So that is the simple project, because I already know how to make it. For example, the bus converter tutorial. I already know how it works because I've studied in my university. I've already made it because I had to make a project with that circuit for a project for the university, so I already made it. And I already have the parts. I have the MOSFETs, the resistors, everything that I need here. So all I have is to join the parts, make the schematic, prepare the video, prepare the script, record it, and then edit it, post it on YouTube, and that's it. And this could take me up to 1 week, because we will see all the steps that I follow to make a video and then make the website and stuff like that. It's not that simple. Sometimes it will take me more than 1 week, even for a simple video. Then we have the medium project. The medium difficulty project is the project that I know how it works, but I never made tests. For example, the brush DC drone that I told you before. That was a project that I really know that it could work. I've seen a lot of videos, or I've seen a lot of drones that are using brush DC motors, but those were not based on Arduino. And I already know that how to control the power for DC motors. I already know how to control the IMU module, how to get the data, how to make a PID code. I've made a lot of PID codes. I already know how to get the data from the radio module, the RF24 radio module, but I've never made tests of all these components together. So I had to make tests on the breadboard, because, for example, one problem that I had is that using the RF24 radio module with the brush DC mode control, that is controlled with PWM signals, it will make a lot of noise for the radio connection, and always the radio connection will fall, and you have to use different kind of regulators. So that's the difficult part of this project. Even if I know that all the parts separately they work, I never made tests separately. I never made tests with all the components together, so I have to make tests. So I can't select that video for this week, for example, because if I start this video now and at the end of the week I don't have successfully tests, I'll have to make another video, and I won't have time to finish that for each week, because as you all know, I'm posting a video each week. So these are medium projects, and once I have all the tests made and I will be able to make a script, then I will start the project. Basically, a medium project, once I've made all the tests and I'm pretty sure that it will work, it will be transformed into a simple project, because right now I have all the tests made, I have the components, I have everything that I want to do for that project, and I can start recording it. So I get from medium project to an easy project. And finally, the hard project. This is a project that I have only the idea that I want to make a project, but I don't know anything about that project. So I'll have to make everything from zero and make a lot of tests. Let me give you an example in order to understand. For example, I want to make a coil gun. Yes, this is a spoiler alert. I have a coil gun project on my to-do list, and I'm working for months right now because I have that idea that I want to make it. I saw some videos, but I don't know how to make one because I never made a coil gun. So I will have to make tests for the high voltage part, how to increase the voltage with those small transformers, how to store that voltage into the supercapacitors, because we have some supercapacitors with a lot of capacity, so we can store the DC voltage there. Then how to control that with a triac maybe and apply it to some coils, how to make the design for the coils, to make the coils, the 3D design to make the gun. So I'll have to make a lot of tests, and only if I have successfully tested I will be able to make the video, because if I'm failing I won't be able to make that video. So what I will do is, each time that I have a little bit of free time while I'm doing a video, maybe while I'm having a free time from editing, I'll start making some tests. And during these months, once I have all the tests made and I have good results, I'll start making the script for that project. So this is a very hard project for me because I only have the idea and I have to gather all the information for that project in order to make the video. So these are all the types of projects that we have. The simple one is the one that I already know how it works. I've already made it once and I have all the parts. All I have to do is to gather the components, record the video and edit it. Then we have the medium project, which is a project that I know how it works, but I haven't made tests. And finally we have the hard one, which I only have the idea and I have to gather information about all the parts and then make tests and then make the project. So that is the hard one. Okay, so depending on this type of videos, we have a process. I have a process in making a video. First of all is to prepare. I have an idea of that project and I have to gather information. And gather information means look at datasheets. Find theory on Wikipedia, find all the information about controller, about software, about Arduino, about components, everything that I have to know to make that video. And I always check datasheets. For example, I think I watch minimum 10 datasheets a day, because with datasheets you will learn a lot. Because reading datasheets, for example, right now I'm working on a project for a gimbal. And this will be a gimbal controlled with brushless motors, and I'll have to use a bridge to control a sinusoidal shape wave applied to the brushless motor. And I will use the component that I think it is the DRV2811, I think, I'm not sure. So I had to last night download the datasheet and look at all the specifications, how to use it, how to control it, the skew rate of the input, how to apply signals. So watching datasheets you will learn a lot. So usually for each project I watch minimum 3 or 4 datasheets for the components that I will use, and also gather information about the theoretical part. The theoretical part means that in each video I'll try to explain also the theory behind. For example, if I make a gimbal, I not only explain, look how I make the gimbal, how to place the motors and stuff like that. I'll also try to explain a little bit the PID code, the information that you get from the IMU, and I will try to use some animations. So for that I will have to gather information, real information from Wikipedia or for known sources that I will place in my video in order to not make errors. Because I remember that one of my first videos I've made a very big error. I was explaining the theory for a BJT transistor, but actually in the video I was showing a MOSFET, so that was very, very stupid. So it's very important for me to gather information and to make a good script before I start the video in order to not make errors. I'm still making some errors because I'm only human, but gathering information is very important before I even start the project. Once I have the theory, I'll make some small separated tests, for example, to make sure that everything works. Even if I know that the project that I already made and I know how it works, I'll make a little bit. I'll make some tests on the breadboard in order to know later how to record the video. For example, the buck converter before. I know how it works. I've made it before, but I really want to make it another time, because the last time that I made a buck converter circuit was 3 years ago in the university. So if I want to make it once again, I'll have to make some tests on the breadboard in order for me to know the order that I will later record the video. How to place first the capacitor, the coil, how to explain the parts, the input, the output. So I'll make some very small tests for all the videos. And once I know that everything works, I will make a part list and order all the parts. For example, if I need resistors, if I need coils, and I will have to wait days or weeks for that, because usually I order my parts from eBay, and those will come from China. So usually it will take like 2 or 3 weeks up to months, and at the same time I'm pretty sure that I will order also a PCB design, and usually the PCB will arrive here in Spain in around 10 days. I order my PCBs from GLC PCB. It's quite quick actually, because 10 days is not that much. And at this point I also print some 3D parts. If I have a project that requires 3D printing and the 3D parts are very long, are very big, before I even start the video I will 3D print the part, and that's because I have prints for maybe like 30 hours, and if I want to finish the same video in that same week, it will be impossible if I have to print that big. For example, when I made the Daft Punk helmet, I had to print the parts for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So I first print the part and then I start making the script and recording the video. So first is gather the components, order the components from eBay, wait a few weeks to receive those components, also print the parts, and then I start making the video. Okay, so now we have all the parts for the project, and then I make the project once, and then I'll make it a second time when I'll record the video. And the reason I do this is because usually when I make the project once, I'll have some problems and I will want to skip those or explain those in the video. So then I make the project once again and I know that everything will work perfect. So I start with some breadboard tests, then I make the design, the PCB design, and I order it. I design the 3D part if I need it, and I make the final prototype. And once I have the final prototype, I will make the same steps once again, but this time I will record it. For example, each time that I receive a PCB from GLC PCB, for example the PCB for the Arduino based ESC, I first receive it, I mount all the components, I test the code, I make some versions, a few versions till I get good results, and once I have good results, I get another PCB and I solder it once again and record that steps. Because in this way I know that the final result will be okay. Because imagine that I start recording a project for a PCB and in the middle of the project I have a huge error. I'll have to reset the entire project, and usually recording will take me a lot of more time. So I like to get the PCB, mount it very fast in a few hours. Once I have good results, I start the same PCB once again. So for all the projects that I have on YouTube, I usually have 2 projects. So if I made the gimbal, I've made it 2 times. If I made the ESC, I made it 2 times. So have that in mind, because that is very time consuming. And then once I have the prototype of the PCB of the project that I'm making and I know that it will work, I start and make a script. And I need the script for me in order to make the order how I will record it. First we present the parts that we need, then we make the schematic, then we make the project, the problems that I have, the results and stuff like that. So for me it's very important to make a good script with all the information, and at the same time that I have a script here on my laptop, I will record. I usually put my laptop here and then the camera here, and I will record all the process. And then I will make the voice. The voice is separated. And finally, following that script, I'll make a second PCB or a second project for my tutorial, and that project will be recorded. And usually in my videos you will see that I start usually with the final results. I show you a little bit of the final results, a few minutes. For example, for the 3D scanner tutorial, I show you how it works, how to scan, how to get the point cloud and pass it to STL files, and then use those STL files to get another object and stuff like that. Once I show you the final result, I will make a part list, and usually I show you all the parts that you need for that project, and also share every time I share a list below the video in order for you to buy those parts and make the same tutorial. Once I show you the part list, I usually show you the schematic for the project, and or the schematic or theory part, because sometimes we have a huge schematic for our project, how to connect the Arduino, how to connect the parts, but sometimes I'm making just a theory project. For example, in the same example of the boost converter, I didn't have a huge schematic, so what I've made some animations with the theory, how it works, how to boost the voltage, how the magnetic field will collapse and stuff like that. So that is the part of the theory that I made only with animations. I don't have to record anything. All I have to do is to make the animations in Illustrator and Photoshop and then animate that in Adobe After Effects. And finally, I make the project. And once I have the project, I give you once again another test, a very quick test of of the project that we just made. So those are the parts of recording a video. I start with the final result, the part list, the schematic or theory, make the project, and finally give another test run of the project. And once I have the video recorded, I will make the voice. Making the voice for me is separated because it's very difficult for me to record at the same time that I'm talking, because my English is not that good, as you can see. And by the way, to record the voice, I'm using Adobe Audition. To make the animations graphics, I'm using Illustrator and Photoshop. and to animate the animations and edit the video, I'm using Adobe After Effects. I know that for a lot of you guys, Adobe After Effects is a little bit too much, but I'm using this software for more than 9 years right now, because before I was studying electronic engineer, I was studying visual effects and how to use the After Effects, and I like this software because I can make a lot of cool effects like motion stabilization, motion track, place those floating text, or maybe even use a green screen with for my background. So that's why I'm using Adobe After Effects. And to edit the 3D parts, I'm using Blender. All my designs are made in Blender. Then I use Netfab to repair the parts if I have any error, and to slice it I'm using Repetier. So those are the main softwares that I'm using for my tutorials. And to edit my PCBs, right now I'm using EasyEDA because you have all the components online and you don't have to search those in any kind of library. Okay, so I'm making the voice, and once I have the voice, the script, and the recorded videos, I start and edit the video part by part, and that will be hours and hours of editing. Sometimes I will even work at night till 4 o'clock in the morning, because that will take me a lot of time. That is a lot of work, it's very slow, and all I have to do is to merge the audio with the files and the videos and following the same script. And finally, when I have the video exported, usually I export the video in Full HD, I have four more parts that I think I know that it will seem a little bit silly, but this could take me up to 1 more or 2 days of work, because these are very important parts but are very simple. For example, I have to create a thumbnail for the video. I know that this is very silly, but a thumbnail is very, very important for YouTube video, because the only thing that the viewer will see before clicking your video is the thumbnail and the title. So even if you have a very, very good video, if you don't have a good thumbnail, people won't enter your video. So it doesn't matter if you have a good or a bad video. If your thumbnail is not good, probably the viewer won't click it. So I will have to make a few thumbnails, make a separated photo for the final project, add some colors, add some text, and also upload a video and make a good description and some good tags, because those are very, very important when you upload a video in order to be found on YouTube. So this can take me up to 2 hours or 3 hours of editing and selecting the thumbnails. And finally, I have another part, which is create a web page for the tutorial. I'm pretty sure that you have seen that for each video that I publish on YouTube, I also have a website page. So that could take me another day of work, because sometimes I have very long tutorials. And the reason that I make also a text format of the tutorial is because the video is a way to make an idea about the project, but the video is very fast. You always have to pause. Imagine that you want to make the same project that I do in the video, you always have to pause the videos in order to think a little bit how the project is made. But if you have a text format of the same tutorial, it is a lot more easier to see the photos, to see the schematics, and at the same time, not all the viewers from YouTube are understanding English very well. But if you have a text format of the tutorial, you can also make a right click on the tutorial website and click translate it to any language that you want, and Google Translator will translate the entire website, and you can see the photos, the schematics, and the codes at the same time that you are working, and you can take your time, you can scroll down and up. So a text format for the tutorial is a lot better. Usually when I make a tutorial following other steps, I don't usually I watch the video to make an idea of the project, how to make it, but then I follow the steps on the web page, because that is a lot better. So that will take me maybe 1 more day, because I always upload a tutorial in a web page format with all my videos. And finally, I have to share the videos on my social network. Even this also seems silly, but that is a few more hours of work, because I have to divide the videos in 1-minute videos, for example, for Instagram. I have to decide what photos I will share on Twitter or Facebook. I have to maybe send some emails with the videos. Also share it on Instagram TV now, because we can share up to 15 minutes, I think, on Instagram TV. So sharing on social media will also help increasing a little bit my views, and it's also a little bit of work because I have to make a schedule. I can post all the content on all the platforms at the same time. I have to think when to post it on Instagram, when to post it on Facebook, when to send the mails and stuff like that. And finally, the final part is one of the most important part is to clean the workshop. because those will be maybe 2 or 3 hours of cleaning. Each time that I make a new video, all you can see in the video is the main part of the table, but usually all around will be full of tools, of lost wires, of parts that I don't need, of garbage that I throw around, because when I'm recording, the main part for me is in the middle of the table, and the rest I don't care about the rest. But once I finish the video, I have to organize everything, because I like to have my workshop very well organized, and that could take up to 2 or 3 hours because I have a lot of tools. And even on the floor I have tools and stuff that I throw around when I'm recording a video, because I'm a little bit under pressure because of the time. I don't want to make a video recording in 5 or 6 days. I want to record it to have everything prepared so I could record it in just 1 or 2 days maximum. So that is the last part. So these are pretty much the steps that I follow to make a video, and as you can see, it's not that easy. This is not just a blog, just a recording and talk about something, like for example this podcast. It's not making a video, it's making a project, because the main part is not making the video but making the project. And at the same time, think how to prepare the project in such a way that you will be able to record it and make a good tutorial. So these are the parts that I have to follow. As you have seen, I have to have an idea, divide it into types of projects, make a part list, order the parts, gather everything that I need, make some tests for one PCB or one project. Once I have the first project and I know that it works, I will make the script. Once I have the script, following the script, I will record everything. Once I have everything recorded with a video camera, I will take the script, I will make the audio file with the voice, and having the voice, the script and the videos, I edit everything together. I make the video, I upload it, make the thumbnail, make the website, and share it on the social media. So that is pretty much each week of my life for the past 2 or 3 years that I work for this channel, electronoobs.com and now electronoobs.io. And also I would like to talk a little bit about the gears that I use, because a lot of you guys ask me. To record the video, for example, I have 2 tripods. These are the tripods that I'm using right now to record this podcast. And of course I have 2 cameras. Both cameras are Canon. The big one is a 700D, I think. Yes, it's the 700D. And the small one is the M50. Is the Canon M50, because this one records in 4K, but pretty much always I'm using only Full HD, because editing in 4K is very difficult and my PC is not the best. It's not a spaceship, it's just a PC. Okay, the microphone that I use to record my voice is this one. This is a high quality microphone. This is T-Bone, but if I will make podcasts with more guests, I have some cheap microphones as well. Those are not high quality, but this one is the T-Bone 440 and records the voice very well. And I'm recording the voice with the Audition software from Adobe, and usually I pass some filters, noise reductions and stuff like that. And then I have 2 soft boxes. This soft box is here for light, and an LED strip above me, but right now the LED strip is turned off because otherwise all my face will be glowing. So that's what I'm using for light. To edit the video, I'm using 2 screens, and the reason why is because it is a lot easier. I know that this might be a little bit fancy for you to use 2 screens, but actually when you're editing and you have the full software on one screen, and you have the script and the videos, the folder on the other side, and the information on another screen, it is very easy to edit, because closing windows and opening windows is very annoying, and having 2 screens is a lot more productive. So I really recommend you to buy a second one if you have the money. I know that 3 screens sounds a little bit too much, and right now I can't have 3 screens because they're a little bit expensive, but at least having 2 screens will help you a lot with the production of a video, because you have one information in one side and the editing software in the other side. So that is what I use to edit. And I also have this laptop that I only use here in the workshop, because I have a PC for the main parts, and this laptop only to see the scripts and some schematics and stuff like that. This is a very old laptop, but does the job. And as for the workshop, I really like to talk a little bit the main parts that I have in the workshop. For example, right now I'm using this oscilloscope. This is an oscilloscope from Keysight. It's the DSO-X1204G. This has 4 channels, and having 4 channels is very nice, because you can connect 4 signals at the same time. And when you're using for example SPA communications and stuff like that, it is a good way to see all the signals at the same time. It was given to me by Keysight as a gift when they were making the Keysight oscilloscope giveaway, and it is a pretty good oscilloscope. I also have a digital power supply for that I use with my electronics projects. I think I already made a review about that small power supply for me design. It's not that powerful, but it is enough for my small project. I also have a bigger power supply that is stored up there because I don't use it, because I only use that power supply for big projects, for motors, because that supply can deliver up to 17 amps at 12 volts. So it's very powerful, but usually I use the small one for Arduinos and small circuits because I don't need more than that. Then I have a multimeter, which I have it right here, and it's not a high brand. This is the Unity multimeter. It's good enough. I bought it for like 25 euros, I think, from Banggood. I also have a soldering station that I already made a review about this soldering station. This is the Yihua 995D, and I don't have any problem with this soldering station. I've used it for like 2 years. All I had to do is to change the tip once because it was a little bit old and damaged, but it's very good. I can get up to 480 degrees and it works very, very well. I also have a drill tower and other motor tools, such as other drills, such as sanders, such as electric cutters and stuff like that. I have some small tools, hand tools, such as screwdrivers, tweezers, calipers and stuff like that as well. I have a box here with all the tools. And then I have some small boxes with all the components which are behind me, such as resistors, capacitors, ICs, transistors, coils. So I have like small boxes with all the components that I need, and I store those behind me. It is very, very useful to have this kind of small boxes for your components. And yes, I know that a lot of you ask me if I sometimes take components from my wall. And actually yes, I sometimes do, because I only have components such as big capacitors on these PCBs, because actually these are real PCBs. I've made this in my university. We have a zone where all the trash from the electronics laboratories was thrown away. So each day that I pass in the trash area and I seen a big PCB, I took that PCB and gather PCBs for like 6 months. And once I have all the PCBs, I've made this wood panel that is behind me and glued all the PCBs. So yes, these are real PCBs, and sometimes I will take out components such as crystal resonators or capacitors or some big power resistor. And actually I have this screen here that I would like to make a tutorial about. This screen. This is a vacuum screen. This is very vintage and it's very interesting, I think, and probably I'll make a video on how to control it, how to get the I2C communication or the serial communication that it uses to connect to that screen and show some characters on that screen. So yes, sometimes I will take parts from the background. And finally, I have some small boxes for motors. For example, I'm dividing my motors in servos, brushless, DC motors and steppers, because a lot of my projects will work with motors, so I like to have those organized in boxes. I have some drawers here for cables, small boxes with small wires, connectors, etc. And I also have a case for batteries, and each day I have more batteries, and actually I will have to upgrade this case to a metal one, because as you all know, LiPo batteries are kind of dangerous. They could explode if you poke them. They could even explode or get bigger, or at least take out a little bit of smoke. So yes, since the LiPo batteries are dangerous, and now I have like 6 or 7 of those batteries, I will need a metal case, and I recommend you to do the same if you have batteries, because storing LiPo batteries in your home is a little bit dangerous. But if you have a metal case, that will be a lot better, and also a special case that won't let fire get out. And finally, I have a case with all the PCBs and the projects I've made on this channel. Imagine that we already have like 200 videos on this channel. So I store all the projects in a case. So I have a case full of PCBs, of fails, of old components, of old projects, 3D parts and stuff like that. I store everything here. And I also have some 3D printers. Right now I think I have like 5 of these 3D printers. I have one DLP printer, and the rest of them are FDM printers. And I also have a laser engraver, but I don't use it very much because it's not that powerful. I have it stored up here. And that's pretty much all that I have now on this workshop, the main components. Of course, I have a lot of more smaller components. And that's it. That's how I record the video. This is the gear that I use. These are the steps that I follow. This is how I make a to-do list. And that's it. these are the steps that I follow to make a YouTube video. I hope that this will be interesting for you. If you have any other question about this topic, just comment it below. And also make sure that you always watch the links that I share below the video, because I always try to place very important links below the videos. Not just the affiliate links for the printers and stuff like that, but the first links for the project or more question or more information. And also, once again, consider supporting my work on Patreon, because all that money that I get from Patreon, it will be, I will promise that I will use that for buying new components for more projects, more interesting topics. And also check the new website, the new forum, and leave your question there and help the community. I hope that you will enjoy this podcast, and see you in the next tutorial. See you later. No, let me just make the official outro. Thanks again, and see you later, guys.